For one full day, I let an AI take control of my web browser. It read the pages I read. It remembered where I'd been. And when I asked, it tried to do things for me, like shopping and booking and writing posts, clicking around the screen on its own while I watched. Some of it genuinely impressed me. Some of it was a little creepy. And one moment made me laugh out loud at how wrong it got things. This is what actually happened when I let ChatGPT Atlas run my browser. The good and the weird, so you know what you're signing up for before you try it yourself. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the AI Academy. My name is Eric, and on this channel, we test the AI tools that you keep hearing about so you don't have to find out the hard way. Today's experiment is ChatGPT Atlas, which is OpenAI's web browser with ChatGPT built right into it. Not a website you visit, but an actual browser you install and use instead of Chrome or Safari. Now, quick note before we start, because it'll save some of you a download. Right now, Atlas is Mac only, and it needs a newer Apple chip, the M1 or later. So if you're on Windows, it isn't available for you yet, though that could change. So this is a Mac experiment for the moment. Now let me set the scene. The whole idea of Atlas is that ChatGPT lives in a sidebar next to whatever you're looking at. So instead of copying text out of a page and pasting it into a chatbot, the AI already sees the page you're on. You just ask. That's the pitch. I wanted to know if it actually makes a normal day online better or if it just gets in the way. I started easy. I opened a long, boring article, the kind that I'd normally skim and forget. I clicked the sidebar and asked it to summarize the main points. A few seconds later, there they were, clean and accurate, with links back to the parts of the page it pulled from. I did this maybe 20 or 30 times throughout the day on articles, on long product pages, on a dense help document I'd been avoiding. This part, honestly, I loved. Being able to ask a question about whatever is in front of you and get an answer that points back to the actual page is genuinely useful. It's the feature I'd keep. Then I tried research, which is where it got even better. Instead of running a search and opening 10 tabs, I just typed my question into the bar like I was talking to a person. I asked it to compare a few products that I was considering, and it pulled together an answer with the key differences, prices, and links all in one place. I asked follow-up questions right there, the same way you'd keep chatting. For digging into a topic, this felt like a real step up from the old open a dozen tabs kind of routine I was used to. So far, so good. Now let me tell you about the part that everybody really wants to know about, which is agent mode. So this is where Atlas stops answering questions and starts taking actions. You give it a task and it takes over your screen, moving the cursor and clicking buttons by itself to get it done. You can watch the whole thing happen. To use this, by the way, you need a paid ChatGPT plan, so the free version won't let the agent loose. Here's where my day got interesting. I asked it to build a shopping cart on me based on stuff I'd been looking at. It went to work, cursor flying around the screen and adding items. The problem? It added things I had already bought weeks ago and a couple of things I'd looked at and specifically decided against. It confidently built me a cart full of stuff I did not want. It took about 10 minutes to do it, which is longer than it would have taken me to just add things myself. That was the first real lesson. The agent is eager, but it doesn't actually know what's in your head. It guesses, and it sometimes guesses wrong. It got better, and then it got weird. At one point, the agent decided, based on my browsing, to draft me a social media post. What it wrote was a strange summary of my day online that read like a stranger describing me from across the room. It was technically accurate and completely off in tone, the kind of thing that no human would ever actually post. So I deleted it, but it stuck with me because it was a reminder of what's really happening here. This thing is watching everything you do, and it's forming a picture of you. That's the part people mean when they call these tools creepy. It's not that the AI is evil, it's that it's always paying attention. And that brings me to the honest warning section, because I'd be doing you a disservice if I only showed you the cool parts. A few times during the day, the agent flat out got things wrong. It told me it had booked something when it actually hadn't. It summarized the wrong page once, pulling from a tab I'd looked at earlier instead of the one in front of me. And running the agent drained my laptop battery incredibly faster than normal browsing. None of these are deal breakers, but they tell you the truth about where this technology is right now. It's a capable intern, not quite a trusted assistant. You still have to check its work. There's a bigger safety issue worth understanding as well. And it has a clunky name prompt injection. In plain terms, because the AI reads the pages you visit, a sneaky website could hide instructions on the page meant to trick the AI into doing something you didn't ask for. Now, the companies building these browsers, OpenAI included, have openly admitted that this is a hard problem that they may never be able to completely solve. So here's my simple rule, and please take this one seriously. Do not let the agent loose on anything sensitive. Don't have it log into your bank, handle your medical stuff, or touch your private accounts. Use it for low stakes while this technology grows up. So after a full day, what's my verdict? Let me give it to you straight here. The everyday helper part of Atlas, asking questions about a page and doing research without a pile of tabs, is genuinely good. And I could see myself keeping it around just for that. The agent that takes over and does tasks for you is impressive to watch, but not yet something I'd really trust with anything that really matters. It's a preview of the future, and the future looks promising, but it's not ready to run your life today. So here's how I would use it if I were you. Treat the sidebar as your reading and research buddy, and use that part freely. It's really the strongest piece as it stands today. Treat agent mode as a fun experiment for tasks where a mistake costs you nothing. And keep your hand near the mouse, because the whole point of watching it work is that you can stop it the second it goes off the rails. Now, the big picture is this. We're at the very beginning of browsers that don't just show you the web, they act on it for you. A year from now, this will be far more capable than what I tested today. Getting comfortable with it now on small stuff means you'll be ready when the agent actually becomes reliable. Just go in with your eyes open. It's powerful, it's a little nosy, and it's not as smart as it acts. Now, if you want to get started with any AI tools or platforms that we recommend, you'll find links for them down in the description below. These are affiliate links, which means we earn a small commission when you use them at no extra cost to you. Supporting the channel this way really helps us keep creating practical, beginner-friendly content to help you learn and leverage AI. So if you use it, we really appreciate it. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a future video. Here on the AI Academy, we make videos that break down artificial intelligence tools, workflows, and strategies to help you stay ahead of the curve. Whether you're a creator, entrepreneur, or just curious about what AI can do. So thanks again for watching. We'll see you here in the next video.